3 seconds in. And we're starting now. Sounds good. Okay, everybody. Welcome to the... I have no idea what episode this is going to be. Should we just call it 10? I have 2 in-between episodes. 10. It's going to be 11. Because his should have been 10.
This number, and then put the number on the screen.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to... No, because it's a podcast, Kyle. No one's going to see the number on the podcast. All right. Welcome, everybody, to episode whatever. I don't know yet. You're going to see it in the title, though, when you go ahead and click on. Today, we have in the hot seat Sammy Walter, and I'm very excited to bring her on. She's kind of a childhood friend. We've known each other for a long time, and it's very good to get her back in, I don't know, talking distance, I guess. It's been a while since we've really chatted a whole lot. I got Kyle McLean here producing the podcast again today. Thank you so much, Kyle. If you're looking on video, this is why the video is so good. And you can see me doing my little thank you to Kyle. We have no camera for Kyle, even though I promised in the last episode we would, but we do not. And
I think Kyle needs a mic.
Yeah, and he needs a mic, and but he will not take a mic. Aww. So he's completely off on that. Right. But we'll get it done one day. Maybe when he's salaried, I can force him to do things. But at this point, I can't force him to do anything. So
no.
Sam, how's it going? It's great to have you sit down and just kind of see your face and everything. You're the first girl on this podcast.
Yes.
So,
I like that.
And a lot of people at home are going to be like, Drew, why wasn't your wife the first girl on the podcast? But she said, please don't expose me, and I don't want to be exposed. so with her permission.
So she'll never do it?
No, she will. Okay, eventually, she probably will. But for right now, you're the first girl, and
I'll take it.
I'll
have a chat with her.
Yes, you coming on, you can be like, look, it's not that bad.
Yeah,
he's not that much of an idiot, and he didn't make me look terrible.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, so man, okay, that's a hard one to come back from. What? Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
We'll just get started right into it.
I'm good.
Well, I guess I better give you an introduction. So you're good, but let me say this. Sam has a baking company that she started called Sweets by Sam.
Company.
Yeah, right? Business, company.
Yeah,
Is it just you?
Cool.
Do you have an employee?
No, it's just me.
Okay, just you. So still, okay.
My mama helps me.
That's right. Cool.
Mama Walter.
Yeah, and you actually came to me a couple years back looking for some real estate.
Yes.
So that was
I've kind of been in and out of that the past few years, just thinking about my own place. But
yeah, exactly. So Sam, I wanted to bring on because she has done something pretty cool. She had actually a pretty good, as far as I could tell, we can talk about a little bit, but I watching Sam grow up and everything. She did phenomenal in school. She was also in like my Gifted End program that we were all in together and all this stuff, and Gifted and Talented. And she was one of those rebels that did not finish college and actually started a business and did all of that. And so it's just really neat to see that get started. And yeah, it's just, she's an inspiring person to me. She actually did our wedding cake. My wife and I's wedding cake was absolutely phenomenal. She's done a lot of my friends' wedding cakes. She's just an amazing artist. And she's an artist that actually has figured out how to make a living at it. So I think whenever that happens, it's always in rare form. And it's typically a very extraordinary person that's capable of making that happen. So that's the introduction I'm going to give you.
There we go. I'll take that one.
So tell me a little bit about this Sweets by Sam thing. How long have you been doing it? And then I kind of want to go back and we'll talk a little bit about everything before.
So I started it in, I think it was the end of 2017, but lately I've been like flashing back and thinking it was earlier than that for some reason. But I think it was the end of 2017. So it was the middle or beginning of like my senior year of college, I guess my 4th year of college. Okay. I can't count as my senior year. But so I don't even remember what I was doing. I baked a lot when I was little.
Really? Okay.
And so I kind of got into it when I was little. Me and my friend Kylie.
Okay.
We started like a little dog treat business when we were little at Lockwood.
Okay.
So we would sell that like all the craft fairs and stuff. And that was like my first experience with baking. And then kind of like fell out of it when we got older. You know, you got busy with sports and stuff. Yeah. And then, I don't know, I was in college that year and I actually started watching a show and it's called Chef's Table. I don't know if you've ever watched it.
No, I haven't.
But it's just got really cool, inspiring people on it.
Okay.
And I saw this lady and she was like a major bread lady. And I was like, oh, I want to be a bread lady so bad. So I started making all this bread. And I was like, oh, this is cool, but I can't do anything with it. Okay. And so then I was like, okay, what if I do stuff that I can like make some money off of? And so that's kind of how I found like the decorating, like the cake decorating, cookie decorating. Started just with cakes. And I really just, you can learn so much on the internet and Instagram. And I just would watch people's videos and found cool people to follow. Mm-hmm. And so then I started doing the cakes and selling them out of my home. And I had like a cottage food license, which is just, you can bake everything out of your house and sell it. And I did that for probably my first 2 or 3 years. And then at that time, so I was in school, I had golf, and then I had a few part-time jobs, and one of them was serving at the restaurant that I now rent the kitchen of.
Really?
So that's kind of how I got into their space. And so that's still where I'm working now. So I rent it from them, and then I bake it there during their off hours and everything.
Wow. Are you still pretty busy right now?
Yep. Yeah. It's the holidays are a big rush, and then January is usually kind of like a cool down month. Mm-hmm. And then start to get pick up with Valentine's Day in February, and then weddings start.
That makes
a couple months after that. Yeah.
So you actually did, because we're always told when we're little kids and stuff, like, oh, you can do a lemonade stand, make a little money. You can do a bake sale. You can do like all these different things. But you actually took the bake sale thing and thought, this is how this is going to work. So at what point, so you said that you were cooking and everything, or like doing a little bit of baking when you're growing up. Was it just like easy bake stuff? Or
it was like, I have an aunt, my Aunt Cindy. She's the best. And she's like the baking queen. Oh, okay. So when she lived in Alaska, she would like bake pies for all of her neighbors, and she would send us cookies all the time. And she just like was a baking fiend. Yeah. And so when I kind of got into it, I was always like reaching out to her. She sends us letters or cards for every single holiday since we were who knows how old, sweet. Like never misses it. So whenever I'd write back, we would kind of talk about baking a little bit. And then, so she got me like my first kind of pie, my dough roller. It was like this mat that you're supposed to roll your dough on and stuff. And, so I just kind of did it for like holidays and, once in a while. And then I think in high school, I probably totally stopped.
Okay. Just wasn't cool anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And we were just
Sports,
busy. Yeah,
boys, whatever.
Exactly. And then,
good
grades,
and
then
grades,
college.
Mom.
Yeah, that faded away fast. And then, in college, I don't even know. I watched that show and it was weird.
That's crazy.
Started baking again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how things in the mainstream kind of, when you watch other people on like maybe online or in media or whatever, you kind of go, oh shoot, if they're doing it, like why couldn't I do that again?
Yeah.
Maybe.
They make it look so easy.
Yeah,
too.
Exactly. Yeah. Did you always know that you wanted to kind of own your own business, or was it really is just the bake like literally I just like doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't even know I liked it that much. It was just, I don't know, it just picked up so fast, which I'm very lucky for. And so, by the time I finished my 4th year of college, my scholarship was up, and then I was kind of like, okay, do we keep doing the business? Do I keep going to school and finish this degree that I might not even use? And so
let's go back a little bit then. So when you're growing up as a kid, I want to kind of set the frame a little bit here for what life was kind of like a little bit growing up. So we both went to Lockwood Middle School, and while we were going there was a really good gifted ed program.
Yep.
And I think we were both kind of some of those kids. There's a lot of kids at one point, like 30 of us, that like all made this program. Yeah. And then they kind of slowly pared it down and like kind of cut people out. I don't know if it was lack of funding or they just made the whatever tests they were giving us at the time, percentiles just kept getting higher and higher and able to stay in there. Yeah. But when you were doing all of that, what kind of effect did that have on your life? Because I've always seen you as a very bright person. And so most people would consider, at least the way that, the culture is, if you're really bright, you go to college.
Oh, yeah.
You go to
Absolutely.
You go and you follow through with a doctorate, or you follow through with a lawyer, or, as a lawyer degree or whatever. You're going some way, engineering, whatever. So some people may go, baking, come on, what happened? What's going on so I want to just kind of go back and like see what your experience was like growing up and all of that. Because your mom and dad, what did your mom and dad do for work? Was your mom stay-at-home mom?
She was a stay-at-home mom for a while. I can't remember when she went back to work, but then she would just, she worked at like EBMS for a while. She worked at, now she's like, I guess, I don't even know what to call it, secretary for like a plumbing service. So she like does the calls and whatever. And so she's just always had the jobs with like the insurance. And then My dad worked in California for a construction business or contracting business. And so he would fly out every week or every other week. I think it was like he was home on the weekends when we were really young. And then when we got older, it would be like every other week, which is nice. And then, so yeah, he did that for 25 years, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And so neither of them went to college. But it was definitely like at the point where we were in high school and stuff, everyone was just, you go to college after high school.
Yeah.
That's just what you do. And I think even when I was like in my senior year, I was still I never really had like, when you're little, you have things that you want to be when you grow up, but it's never like realistic really.
Yeah.
So I always had plenty of those, but it was never like, oh, I'm going to be a doctor or I'm going to be a teacher or something. So by the time I was graduating high school, I was still kind of there, and it was like, do I need to go to college?
Yeah.
But then I was playing golf in high school and I got the scholarship for MSUB. And so I was like, well, if I can go for free, I'm going to go do it.
Might as well.
And then I ended up switching I was like undecided in the beginning, decided on a major in health and human performance, did that for like a year and a half, ended up switching like my junior year to finance and accounting. So like total opposite. So nothing transferred pretty much.
Yeah.
So it was like starting over. And so then by the time I finished my fourth year, I probably had a good year and a half left if I wanted to keep going. And by that time, the business had just kind of bloomed. And I just decided I didn't, I also watched my sister. She graduated with a degree, didn't use it. I watched friends graduate with degrees, never used them. And it was just like, I didn't really need to finish it if it was going to cost me money.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep going with this.
What'd your parents think about that?
They were totally fine with it.
They were.
Yep.
That's
Totally
cool.
supportive. Yeah. And it was just, I don't like the idea that college is just immediately after high school. I think, especially now that we're grown up, we know that you need to go and work and
just try some things.
Yeah.
You just need to try some things.
And then go to school and get your degree in what you love, and you'll actually use it.
Yeah.
And there's just so many people that have these degrees and they don't even use them. And it sucks.
Well, because sadly, the way that I've seen it and noticed it happen is you go into college, a lot of people say, well, I'm going for more so the experience and build a network and everything.
Yeah.
When they don't know what they want to do. And so they think that going to college is going to provide them experience that lets them know what the rest of life is like. And sadly, it's not. It's very difficult to go and find a place where your dorm rooms are paid for. You can take out a loan to just live on.
Yep.
And you can just go to a place to sit in a classroom every day without having to produce or without having to do some kind of a progress report.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, you get grades and everything at the end of the year, but no one's really truly paying you for those grades. You have to figure out how to find your value in society, which is going to be whatever, building computers or, network marketing or whatever. You got to do all kinds of different things to be able to make things work. And it is kind of a bit of a misleading thing.
It's just you're still too protected.
Yeah. A little
from the
bit.
Real world.
Yeah. It's a little bit, it's not
still getting
dangerous
babied
enough.
along. Yeah, exactly.
You want to do, well, I heard this the other day. You want to be able to do dangerous things carefully.
Yeah,
and if you can't do that, then you typically won't learn what's hot. Don't touch that. That's too hot, or don't spend your time doing this because you're gonna get in a terrible feedback loop over here. This isn't gonna pay off. You know, that's kind of a dangerous thing to get into is teaching our younger generation that you can still have another 4 years of just living on your own without having to pay for a whole lot.
Right.
And because it really just stacks up. It's even harder to get started when you get out and you're like, wow, now I have a $500 a month student loan payment.
Yeah.
And $120,000 in student loans or whatever.
Right.
So, And so that's why it's just so much more important to be able to, when we do get to find these stories and people like yourself that have found a passion that they like, because it's even better to know that you weren't even thinking monetarily when you were doing this. It's like, I just enjoyed this.
Right.
I just enjoyed doing it because I assume you also enjoyed golfing at some point.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah.
At what point did you realize that maybe that wasn't going to be a thing that you want to do for money, like to make your living? Or was it just
when my talent wasn't in retail level?
Yeah.
I mean, golf is hard mentally.
Yeah.
And so towards the end of college, after 4 years, if it's not your future, you kind of are at a low point with it where you're like, I can't, I don't even want to look at a golf club for the next year. Yeah. And I didn't golf for probably at least a year after I graduated or after I finished my last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just never up to par on that end.
Up to par. No pun intended.
Oh, that was a good one.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
That's good. That's good. I don't even play
Funny
golf.
without
I
knowing
just
it.
know par is
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
So
Important.
well, I was gonna. The another thing I wanted to bring up was like when you're playing golf though, and I think that the same thing in baking, you kind of find something that you like enough that you're willing to get rejected in all the time. And I remember you telling me when you are baking a lot, you're constantly throwing stuff out. Like there's
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, like you'll try to do, I don't know any of the techniques, but I know that when you're trying to put frosting on and stuff, like sometimes one layer will just slide off and you'll just have to like scrape that,
things
start
off,
over completely. And especially on some of these cakes. I mean, if anybody's out there, just pause the podcast right now and go look at Sweets by Sam on Instagram. It is absolutely insane what you're able to do. I don't know how you only have 6,000 followers. But I mean, I don't know what you're charging for cakes now. Thank God I got in on like the first level, I think, when we first got married. Like I was just like, whoa, so good. So glad I don't have to pay for that now. But just kidding. But totally worth it.
Yeah.
But I know it probably took a lot of mistakes to get to that point.
Plenty of orders that I either scrapped or plenty that I sent out that I just didn't feel, you don't always feel like it was your best. And but the customer usually loves it, but like I'm a perfectionist, so
always we're perfectionists.
Yes. And so that just kind of, you want everything that you're putting out there to be perfect, but it's just not how life is.
Where did that start, the perfectionist thing?
I don't know.
How long ago was that?
So
is that
long.
something that you start when you're a kid? Because I'm going to take it back to that gifted ed
I
thing.
know.
I want to know like what made you tick at that young age? Because I think a lot of this stuff can be found and determined at like, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, where it's like, okay, this kid actually wants to try to do something.
Everything perfect.
Yeah.
So I always think about gifted ed because as I got like end of high school and especially in college, I was like, I'm not good at school.
Yeah.
Like I got straight A's when I was little and everyone was like, oh, she's a smart girl. Yeah. We were like, we're in gifted ed. We're the smart kids. And then I grew up and I was like, I think I was just a perfectionist and, never wanted to disappoint anyone, people pleaser.
Yep.
So I think I just got really good grades because I put all the time into it and wanted to make sure everything was perfect.
Yep.
And I don't know what it came from. I think it's just always been my personality because I've always been like shy and, I don't know, like low confidence. So I think when you're kind of like that, you're always a people pleaser and you want everybody to like you and do everything to, fit in, whatever.
Well, when we were talking outside the podcast, and this is something else that I just kind of struck a chord with me. Your parents like to read, your dad specifically would read books to you and stuff growing up. And I had that too. My mom was really big into reading things. My dad was really big at telling me stories.
Yeah.
And he would tell us a story every time before he went to bed.
Yeah.
And for some reason, there's something about that kind of interaction with your parents, because it's like they're involved enough to be able to pass on lessons to you through those stories or pass on different things to you in those. And it's just simply telling a story to the next generation that I think, and doing it in a way that's like, I care enough about you to sit down and tell you something because I think that you are worth, retaining this and carrying on this lesson as well. And I think that says so much about the kids that can get into maybe some of these better programs. I don't really understand the testing that they have on these. I'd love to bring it on at some point.
Yeah.
I know it's pattern recognition and some other things like that, but I think you saying the whole people pleaser thing is key. Yeah. Because I felt the same way. I always had to figure out a way to make sure that I was something older, more mature, more intelligent than whatever I really was.
Yeah.
In that time and space.
Yeah.
So I think that being impressed on us and the importance of us being like that, it was encouraged in a way. And I feel like that could be taught to anybody.
Yeah.
Like if anybody actually cared enough to be like, hey, look, you're going to do really well at something. It might not be anything that this school has to offer you, but if you actually care enough about doing well for others or people pleasing in a way. Now, I'm not saying do it so much that you're controlled by it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to deal with a lot of rejection and you're going to think, well, maybe I'm not good at this. It's like, no, if you're able to deal with the rejection and keep going, you're good at it.
Right.
It's the people that quit that aren't good at it. Because I have also a strong feeling that your family's very athletic. Your sister is athletic. Your brother's very athletic, and you are very athletic. If you really wanted to do golf, now granted, there is a time when talent runs out.
Yeah.
But I think that you didn't want to deal with enough rejection to just try to get to those pro ranks, which there is a lot of rejection to get to pro ranks.
Yeah.
And I think that you love baking enough. Because, I mean, how many times have you been told, like, I'm not paying for this or I want a refund?
Oh, plenty.
Have you had that happen to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
That's the worst part of me owning my own business is like that is like the failure. And so it's not just like, oh, your business failed. It's like all the smaller aspects that like being that perfectionist, you know, getting a bad review or getting a bad feedback or just like trying a recipe and it fails or, you know, making a class and not enough people sign up for it. Or there's just so many things that make you feel like you're a failure.
Inadequate. Yeah.
Yeah. And inadequate. And it's just the word. It's so hard for someone like me who just like, I just live in like guilt and like disappointment. And so that's for sure the hardest part.
Super crushing.
Yeah.
But for some reason you like it enough to keep going.
Yeah. I think the good moments outweigh the failures, you know, the times where customers are just so happy or, you know, people give me this awesome feedback or I get comments on a picture that someone liked and it just helps a lot.
Oh, I know. It's crazy. I had a couple experiences in real estate that where I'm dealing with these hundreds of thousands of dollars of transactions and you can't get a certain client to the finish line. And sometimes it's even just because personalities don't work. And that is a crushing thing.
Hard.
Because there's a ton of other realtors in this town that they could go and do their business with. And if they simply don't do the business with you just because of who you are, even though you might have been able to do it professionally, that sucks.
Competition is so terrifying to me too. I'm not competitive. So I mean, it's just like I see a new like cookie person pop up or a little business here and a little business there and it just tears me down.
Really?
I just am so like, I don't know.
It's just feeling maybe a little bit worried that they're gonna
if their prices are cheaper or their work's better or tastes better or whatever. I mean, so many variables that
well, and I think
just terrifying.
I think though too, Sam, I feel like when you first got started, you had a lot of good friends because you were just an overall good person in high school. Well, you were. And I think that in high school, believe it or not, you kind of are making a bit of a network of people that are meeting a network of people that will hopefully cheer you on a little bit later in life. A lot of people are like, oh, high school, can't wait for that crap to be over, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, you start to learn how to, I don't know how to say people, but you learn how to people skill, you know, how to
100%,
have people, how to have relationship with people and how to figure out how to really work together. You're doing group projects and things like that.
Yep.
And even though that there is sadly a lot of hierarchy and stuff like that in high school, when you get out of high school and people start doing their own things, people kind of go, I kind of wouldn't mind being friend with that person maybe now because they're actually doing something, you know, and they, at that point, you really kind of rely on your network from high school. So I see that you had a lot of support. It looked like a lot of your friends. Well, and
that's when I say it like took off fast, it's 100% because I have amazing friends that would share posts, share my profile, family shared my stuff. You know, people spread word of mouth like crazy, and totally because of them. Yeah,
that's so cool.
So very lucky.
So I guess the lesson there is just never discount the relationships and the people that you're always in contact with. That's why it pays to be, literally pays to be a decent person. You know, because a lot of people are like, oh, they're just greedy. They're just trying to, you know, whatever. Yeah. And especially when people probably are seeing you charge, I don't know what it is, $800, $1,000 for a cake. And they're like, oh,
that's the worst part too, is prices.
It is tough, but you know, in like mechanicing industry and everything, just to make an analogy for you, I mean, they aren't paying for that one cake. They're paying for the 500 to 1,000 cakes before that that you took to practice to get to that one cake.
And that's what I always hear, but it's like not enough for me. I'm like,
I know.
But you don't want to pay this much for cake, do you? That's crazy. And it's always like an opportunity cost thing to me. Like, you know, if someone's gonna pay this much because they really want that cookies, they'd pay this much for those cookies, then I can raise my prices of that cookie, because if I take on this order for this person who doesn't want to pay that much, I'm losing out on that one that really wants to and appreciates my work and would pay what I think it deserves.
Yeah.
So yeah, but prices are hard.
Prices are hard.
Self-worth is hard.
For any other female entrepreneurs out there, well, and actually male entrepreneurs too, but if you're ever in a crafty space or anything, there's this podcast that I think maybe you should check out too. It's called Christy Wright.
Okay.
Have you ever listened to her?
I don't think so.
She's part of the Dave Ramsey Network, but she has a whole like mentorship group and everything, and it's literally for boutique businesses.
Cool.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's really good. I shouldn't be shouting out other podcasts on my podcast, but I just want to be
you're a
a
nice guy.
wealth of information.
Yeah.
So definitely have to check that out, because she talks a lot about, and I listened to her for a long time. My wife eventually started listening to her, but she talks a lot about finding that balance. And then once you find that balance, just ship farther.
Yeah.
Once you figure out, that you can be selling cake at LA prices,
Just keep
ship
going.
to LA.
There you go.
And I thought it was kind of funny. But a lot of her stuff is kind of more non-perishables. But I think that now in the day and age, beautiful internet and all of this, and this great migration of people, I think that there's going to be a lot more opportunity for higher end products, which means artisans can truly perfect and get better.
Yeah.
And if you get, you should never be at a point where you are working, especially if you have 2 or 3 years under your belt. I do not believe in this 10,000 hour thing, by the way.
Never heard that.
10,000 hour professional. It takes 10,000 hours to be a professional at anything or an expert at anything.
Who keeps track of that?
Yeah, people say that, and I don't believe in it. But what I was trying to say was, you should not be so overworked. If your stuff is just selling off the shelves like crazy, it's time to raise prices.
Yes,
it's always time to raise prices.
My friend's dad, like right away when I started, he ordered a cake for me and came and picked it up, and I probably was like $25, and he hands me like $100 bill.
Yeah.
And I go, "What do you do? Do you want some change?" And he's like, "This is what it's worth."
Yeah.
And his advice was, if you have too many orders, you're not priced high enough.
Yep.
If you don't have enough, you're priced too high or whatever.
Exactly right.
And that's like always stuck in my head. So I always go, okay, I'm turning down people.
Yeah.
I can raise it a little bit. I'm turning down people. I can raise it a little bit. And it's just hard. It's like, of course I want to get to a point where I can work, where I can be making half the amount of orders in a week and make the same as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
But that's so hard in my brain to think, why are people paying this much for cookies? And why, and it's just a guilt thing. It's just weird.
I think you need to think about hiring. Have you thought about that yet?
Yeah, I'm a control freak. I can never. My mom helps me bake once in a while, like when I'm overwhelmed in wedding season or something. That's like the only part I can kind of let up on control.
Mm-hmm.
But she's my mom, so I can like tell her exactly what to do, and she'll do it. And I just,
it's tough.
Maybe one day, but and there's so many things like my macarons. It's a skill that took me so long to get down.
Yeah.
And so many batches thrown out, and that's something that I just can't ever imagine like handing over to someone else to just be like, hey, make these for the day so I can work on this.
Yeah.
And like decorating, obviously, that'll always be me.
Yeah.
That's that like artistic part. I can't let that go.
Yeah.
It's just hard. I don't know.
What is your favorite aspect of like making a cake or a cookie? Is it
sure
truly drawing, or is it like
No. The baking's definitely worn down over the years.
Really?
Well, it's just kind of redundant, It's the same thing over and over.
Thing.
So, but the decorating is different every time usually. So that's definitely the most fun thing to come up with. And
how did you get, so you're working on getting all of your, skills in order to be able to bake, to be able to do all of the artistry and everything, but your Instagram game is insane.
I don't know how or why.
And I think a lot of small business owners, though, they wish social media was never a thing. They hate it.
I despise it.
And I'm not a fan of it either. I'm like, if I'm going to post for the podcast, I'm never going to post for personal stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, I don't like it.
That's a
How
thing.
do you do it?
Like right before I started the businesses, I had deleted pretty much all my social because I was just like, I don't post pictures. I don't, social media is such it's so bad for your mental health, in my opinion, especially for me.
I think a lot of people would say that.
Yeah. And so then I started the business and I was like, well, it's free. I can't not, post pictures and have people share it and get the word out.
Especially when all of your friends are on Instagram.
Exactly. And all the people they know and all the people they know. And so, I got back into it. And then for me, it was just like these, like when I started doing cookies, I feel like is when it really picked up because I didn't do cookies for maybe the first year or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then
You just did cakes?
because I remember I just did cakes, maybe like donuts.
Okay.
Kind of at that point, I was like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I kind of honed in later. But I think I had tried cookies like early on and they were so bad. I was like, I can't be bad at something. So I'm just not going to do it. So I was like, okay, screw the cookies. I'll stop doing those. So then one day I got my projector.
Okay.
So I can like project images on the cookie. And then
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so I can actually trace something and it'll look exactly how I want it to look.
Cool.
So then I started trying it again, started practicing and got better at those. And I just was like taking videos like crazy of, and I would be up all night because I was school or working during the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be doing the cookies during the night. And I would just take these cookies or I'd take these videos of me decorating a cookie, flooding a cookie. And just so many people loved them. They were like, I'm a night nurse and this is like what I live for every night is just to watch your videos.
I
They're
remember
so
seeing those.
satisfying.
They were so satisfying.
Yeah.
It was like ASMR, but for your eyes because you're just
and it's
filling stuff
and
in.
it was the easiest thing ever. But then, I got busier, so it's harder to like. They just felt like they became more work. I think especially once like TikTok and Reels became a thing.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I got to make a video. Like I got to make a production. I can't just post a little video of me.
Sam,
I know.
No.
But so they felt like inadequate when I would just post these little videos of me recording. But also I got tired.
Yeah.
I was like, it takes a lot of work to put my phone in this in this thing and hit the, which is not, but when you want to add music to it or
the magic kind of wears off when you have to think about all of the editing.
Yeah. But that was just I think a thing that really made my account kind of blow up is people love those videos and would just come to watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what's like the farthest you have ever shipped? Have you ever shipped like cookies far away?
I've shipped cookies and Macs.
Yeah. Macaroons.
Macarons, yes.
Or how do you say
macarons.
it? Macarons.
Macarons. And the farthest, I don't know the farthest, somewhere on the East Coast.
Really?
I mean, yeah. I haven't shipped a lot, but yeah.
Was it like
just kind of ran.
Probably like a college kid that was like mom sending them cookies or something? Yeah.
Quarantine last year. Or 2020. Sorry, like right when it happened and we were all in quarantine. I did like quarantine Macs.
Yeah.
And I could ship those and they just kind of blew up and that was kind of nice. But I can only really ship Macs like in the winter when it's cold.
Oh.
And because I don't have they really need to stay refrigerated, especially while they're being shipped. And I was like, they're just going to melt if I ship it to this warm place.
Yeah.
So I didn't know.
because aren't they just like what are they? Just egg, like
egg whites.
Egg whites,
and then it's like filled with buttercream or something. So it would just melt if it got in like a warm place. So they just kind of make me nervous. I don't like to ship them. Yeah. Certain times or certain places.
That's pretty cool though that you
maybe
are
one day
willing to do that. Yeah. Figure out. I don't know,
like cooling shipment stuff just seems expensive.
Yeah, I suppose. How do they do HelloFresh and stuff? Like Blue Apron and all that.
I think because it's so big.
Ice packs? They actually send ice packs with them?
And that's it?
Oh, okay.
Well, I could do an ice pack.
Okay. Kyle says ice packs.
Okay.
One day he'll have a mic.
Yeah. Just the ghost. Ghost on the side of the room.
Wow, that's crazy. So I want to dig into a little bit. Well, first off, we'll talk about mental health a little bit. But at one point were you like, all right, if I can make $10,000, I can make this happen. I can do this full time. I was, because you were working your butt off between college and then you were not waitressing, sleeping. Right?
Yeah, no sleep.
Yeah,
very not fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I was having a blast, but
very not fun.
A couple years there, I
can see the PTSD in your eyes. Just a coma.
Yeah, literally. I don't even remember some of those years, but
because you're probably making $200-300 a night waitressing. I mean, come on.
I mean, on a good night, like it's.
I know the restaurant you're at.
I even think about this, like, if I ever did quit this one day or something, I'd probably just go back to waitressing. Like, it's really, I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah,
and you make good money if you're at the right place.
Yeah, you do, and I couldn't believe that either. I did that for 6 months, just for like Ribbon Chop.
Oh yeah,
and I don't know how they did this. The management, I don't know if they got fired or not, but they hired me as a waiter, and I'd never had any restaurant experience whatsoever. I interviewed in a cowboy hat, just came off the ranch, and I was like, I need a quick buck, for a while. I can wait some tables. And it turns out a lot of people are upset. You're supposed to bus and do kitchen stuff first. And
Yeah,
everything.
I hosted first.
Yeah. But I mean, I'd bring home, and I wasn't a good looking girl either.
All right.
So I bring home $200-$300 a night selling steaks because I just happen to know like whenever there was an auction in town or whatever.
Well, and you're a salesman too. Like you'd sell steak.
A little bit. Yeah. Steak, if it's a decent steak, I can sell it.
Yeah.
One time there's some glass shards and some potatoes. That was not good. Anyways, beyond that though, I mean, so you probably could make some decent money doing that.
Yeah.
So did you have to were you like in your head, like I have to be able to beat $300 a day to make this work, or what do you think?
I was so bad with my money,
Oh,
Drew. I was so
is this a cry for
tired.
help? What's your credit situation?
No, I'm really good with money. I'm really good at saving and stuff and debt,
good.
but like I was so tired.
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't care how much I have. I'm just paying my bills and whatever else goes into savings. Like that was just my situation.
Okay.
So I honestly couldn't tell you how much I was making when I first started it, and I had no interest in going back and counting.
Mm-hmm.
And at the point where I don't even think like when I finished college, I don't even think I really was worried about an amount at that point because I was like, I'm paying my bills, I'm saving money.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you need?
Yeah, college was
Paying
paid
taxes.
for the most part.
Yes. College was paid for, so I didn't have any debt.
Were you working right out of high school? Or were you working in high school too?
Yeah, I was working in high school, yeah.
Yeah, you worked in high school also?
I think just summers when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because what did you do in the summertime? I thought, weren't you like a lifeguard or something?
No, I worked at the Mustangs
Mustangs.
field. I like handed out those little pamphlets for 2 hours.
Oh,
night.
okay. That's how you'd make money.
Yep.
Because you were still golfing and stuff.
Yeah.
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 It's like a
I think we were
full-time
in charge of like our gas money
Okay.
when we were in high school.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'm just kind of like trying to piece together like how much did your parents pay for, and I didn't think they paid for a lot.
No, they didn't pay for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, they gave us like lunch money or something once in a while. But yeah.
Clothes
so,
on your back, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we all had to get jobs during the summer. I taught like a little summer camp for golf kiddos over at Yagan for a few years. And then, I worked during school. Yeah, it would just be nighttime.
Yeah.
I worked at like Kohl's. I worked at Subway. I worked at a lot of places.
So you had some experience
Some
in the real world for sure when it comes to those kinds of jobs and knowing how they're set up, cash register, all that stuff, ordering, talking with clients or whatever customers.
My least favorite part.
Yeah, my least favorite part. How do you handle that now?
Not very
DM,
well.
Instagram.
No, I will refuse. I don't take any orders over the phone.
Really?
Everything has to be like email. I just hate my phone. Like if I could not have a phone, I would not have a phone. But I just hate I think I hate taking orders over the phone because I feel like I'm too nice.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone's like,
yeah,
like one time I remember in the beginning,
I
know.
Yes.
I remember one time in the beginning, I got this voicemail from a really sweet old lady. She was like, "Hey, I'm just looking for some cookies this weekend."
Uh-huh.
And, I was booked that weekend. So I had this whole, thing planned out of what I was going to say to her. And I call her back and she's like, "Hi, I'm so excited to get these cookies." And I was like, I'm so excited to make them. And so of course I do it. And I just don't sleep for 2 nights. And so I just learned my lesson right away. Everything had to be over email.
Otherwise you just cave.
Yeah.
Just
totally.
Cave. Wow. So if you want a discount, call Sammy Walter.
Yeah, really. Get
Just
away
kidding.
with it.
Don't do that. I think that's so brilliant because I have an issue with that too. I'm a people pleaser. Like, oh yeah, absolutely. We can go and look
so
at
hard to say no.
these $30,000-$40,000 properties 3 hours away because what the heck, I'm not doing anything. And then we aren't going to buy anything anyways, but I will say yes. It's like, oh, I'd love to go for a drive, but not for 2 days.
Yeah.
And so I totally get that. And I think that is something that, man, I just want to just drill in everyone's head that's listening to this thing is it's lowest barrier to entry. And don't try to work on your weaknesses that much.
Yeah.
don't if you have a strength, hammer on that strength and automate your weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out how to get that out of your life so you can do better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's so smart.
Avoid them at all costs.
That you actually had the self-awareness to go, okay, look, I love little old ladies.
Yeah.
And I will do anything for them.
Right.
And I'll make thousands of cookies for $5.
Right.
So you just got rid of it. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Don't get rid of
Helped
the
a
old
lot.
ladies, but you.
No.
By going to email and that being a difficult thing for old ladies. Just kidding.
You just don't understand it.
Tech stuff is hard.
Yeah, it is.
No, that's really cool because I think that's something that you will not be able to succeed in business if you don't have some kind of self-awareness of what you're actually good at. Because if you try to do it all, you burn out.
Yep.
So that's the next question is,
Yep.
I mean, well, we kind of got a little bit. You started making money, what, first year, second year? Give us some numbers here. Is it,
When did I start making money?
you worth $500,000 now?
Oh God, no.
$100,000 a year?
I make cookies for a living, Drew. It is not as glamorous as
I've
it
read
looks.
some numbers though. 100 batches, $25 a batch.
Well, yeah. See, that's the thing. People look at the prices,
Yeah.
and they think I'm doing great.
Yeah.
We're in Billings, Montana.
Yeah.
It's very hard. Not everybody's going to pay that
Yeah.
for those prices, which I get. It's
And you can't die doing it.
Exactly.
Like, you can't do it so often. Yeah.
exactly. I'm just at the point where I'm like, if you appreciate my work, you're going to pay
You'll
these
pay it.
prices.
We will.
Yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. And what was I saying?
Oh, back to how much money were you making? So is it, what is it? Can you say it? You don't have to say it. I don't want to put you on the spot. I just try to give and I think that maybe at some point in this podcast, maybe we'll have like a paywall or something where people can reach out. I don't know. But I think that a lot of people think that you need to be making $10,000 a week or
Oh my God.
something crazy amount to
Yeah.
be actually producing a business. And I have
Not even
found
close.
and said over and over again, like you can live off $2-3 grand a month pretty easily and do what you love and give yourself time to figure out how to do it better so you get paid more.
Yes, absolutely.
So
I know.
probably
I
something
was
like that. Similar, right?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
probably make not 10,000 a.
No.
Okay,
I'm
no,
talking
no.
like you start out with $2-3 grand a month.
Yeah.
But it's enough to get you over, figure out how to make it happen. And realistically it might be 20 or 30 batches at 1st, but prices will go up.
Yeah.
And you can't figure things out.
But that's the thing is I think 2019 was probably my highest year,
Nice.
but it was because I did so much and I killed myself to
yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
And it was, so then the next year came and I was like, not doing that again. So maybe raise my prices a little bit, but I mean, then it was 2020, so that year sucked. But then it was just kind of like.
Did it hit you pretty hard? Was 2020 pretty bad?
Wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wedding
'Cause
season
weddings
was
are
hard.
gone.
All gone. Maybe a couple elopements. They would transfer it to a little elopement cake, but refunded so many deposits and
Yeah. Because cake is supposed to feed people.
Exactly.
And there's supposed to be a lot of people to
Yeah.
eat
Nobody's
cake.
gonna do anything with a 3-tier cake. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was hard. But I did things like the max and kind of tried to do little things that would supplement for it. And
But to me, I would feel like your max or your cookies would actually be then again, I look at the art and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exquisite. How could you even eat this? But I would think that would for some reason be a higher margin. Why do I think that? Because I feel like the cake would take so much time.
cookies take so much time. I
Really?
make probably $10 an hour sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh my God, Sam.
I know it.
We do. That's just how business is.
Yeah,
Though. I mean,
yeah.
I often, if I break it down too,
Yeah.
that's the way that is. Sometimes.
So obviously that's not what I want to be paying myself, but I'm not going to make the cookies sloppy. I'm not going to cut a corners to get out of there faster. So I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think that gives a good enough idea, and
Yeah.
people can probably get on and look at your prices and piece it together a little bit.
Yeah.
But
So product wise, it's a bigger margin, but the amount of time I'm putting into it, if I'm trying to pay myself a certain amount, it's nothing.
it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for handcrafted stuff.
It is.
It's really hard.
You just got to find the right audience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, find the right audience and everything. Are you seeing things pick up a little bit more? Like, was there a backlog of weddings that are now happening?
Yeah.
Or?
Last year it was pretty crazy, and then this year's pretty crazy too, because people tried to schedule last year, and then they had to book even farther in the future in 2022 or 2023. So
Wow.
yeah, wedding.
When they booked, did they put down a deposit and everything?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep. Do a 50% deposit, and I've just learned to start separating that out.
Yeah, yes.
In my finances.
Yes, that's good.
Because before I would have because a lot of consults and stuff for weddings for the next year happen kind of like winter time the year before. And then I'd have the holidays. And so I'd get to the end of the year and I was like, oh my God, look at all this money. And then I'd get to wedding season and I'm getting paid the other half, which is nothing. And I'm like, well, where'd all those deposits go? And then, so I'm trying to separate that out. And then I pay myself when the event happens. And
it's called an escrow.
Oh my God.
Escrow account.
I hate that.
Put some of that aside.
Shit.
Yeah. That's a hard thing, especially when you're in that business where you you don't know if they're going to come. I mean, I'm sure you have a policy where it's like, if you want your money back, it's going to be only 25% back or something.
Yeah.
But
Or within certain.
yeah, within so many times. Yeah. Days. Okay. That's
because it's always opportunity costs. Like I'm turning down other couples because I took on yours. So I'd lost, you lost $500 there. So
revenue. Yep.
you have to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never, thankfully, I don't think I've ever had to keep anyone's deposit for doing no work. I think I'd feel really weird about it. But
yeah. Well, I'm sure you would. You just got to actually have some ethics and morals, and you'll probably be okay in this
probably
business.
Okay.
As long as you have the work ethic.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
How did you manage mental health? Because, I mean, getting started in this, first off, did you ever feel inadequate for baking? Like, oh my gosh, all my friends are going to be doctors, and I'm going to be a baker?
It took a long time for me to, like, finally make a page, like a social media page, or, like, I just didn't tell anybody until I made it because I was like, I was embarrassed about it. I was like, I'm making cakes. Like, everybody's going to think that's so stupid.
Yeah.
And so I remember I probably made like 3 or 4 pages and deleted them and made them again and like posted something, felt weird about it, deleted it. Yeah. And probably like 3 or 4 before I made like my final one that I have now and actually kept it up. But yeah, I don't anymore because, I have my own business. That's awesome. But
you feel proven now.
Yeah.
Did you have like a reoccurring like itch though? It's like, no, I still have to do it. Like I cancel it and then you wait for 2 days and you'd be like,
because I was just so proud. Like in the beginning, I was like, well, I want people to see this, but they're gonna think it's so silly. And what if it's not actually good? Low self-confidence or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was just hard for me to like think it was actually as good as it was.
Yeah.
And then
imposter syndrome a little bit.
Yep. And then people loved it. So
yeah. Did you have anybody in the community that was like kind of egging you on? I know your aunt was like super into it, but did you have like any mentors really in the community outside of your family that you can reach back and call on?
I feel like I did, and now I can't remember. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Not
like a baking mentor.
What was your circle of friends telling you?
They thought it was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. They would just share every post and comment on everything and say how awesome it was. And
you have a pretty good circle of friends that are willing to really share that.
Yes. Yeah. They're the best.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Very lucky.
So when you start getting started, when you start getting started, when you start, blah, 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 skip all of this. You're making cakes now. You're starting to see that maybe it's going to be a little bit more successful than you thought. You're getting a lot of cakes, orders and everything like that, all of that. But when you have, I mean, come on, you had to get burnt out and some days like, is this even worth it?
Oh yeah.
Is this, what am I doing?
Yeah. Here? One thing Quinn said, it was like, where's the line between like creative burnout and, I can't even remember what he said, but I was like, it's such a hard line to like figure out. Do I just need to take a break for a little bit, or do I absolutely hate this, or is it just people kind of getting on my nerves? Especially me, I'm such an introvert. Like I could just be a hermit for the rest of my life if I could. So it's hard to deal with people every single day and customers, and I love them and I'm so grateful for them. But you get that tricky customer once in a while and you're like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why are you being so difficult about a cake?
Mm-hmm.
And,
especially for wedding cakes, I can't imagine.
Yeah. I think I've gotten pretty, but there's also the time where it's like what you were saying, it's just, the client's just not, meant for you.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to say that without like feeling like you're, being mean, like insulting them.
Yeah.
Like someone sends me a picture of a cake and I'm like, oh, that's just not my style. Yep. Like, but how do I say that without being like, your style sucks? Because that's what I feel like I'm saying, but it's not what I'm saying. It's just not my style.
Yeah.
If something's very traditional or something, it's just not my style. And then they don't really know, they don't understand what I'm saying. Like they think I just make cake so I can make a cake.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I have to stick to what I love and my image. I do what I do because I kind of found my niche. So I can't just make whatever.
That's something I struggle with. Was I always wanted to make money and be secure in having money, but oftentimes I got paid to do something I really didn't enjoy doing.
Yeah.
But it's the only thing I get paid doing. For some reason, I never get myself permission to do something that I love to get paid for.
Yeah.
It's hard. Or you started doing something you love, but because somebody else is paying so much, you warp it and you change it. And then you're no longer very good at it because you don't actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of money becomes, I think it kind of happened for me a little bit differently. First, it was money was so important, and then now money's not that important. And in your case, though, I think in probably more artists, like my wife is the same way. She just enjoys making pottery.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoy making, or baking.
Right.
And then, so you're going to be a little bit more, it's a fine line. You're going to be a little bit more true to your style and your image because you're an artist first.
Right.
But then also you can't be so true to your style and
They don't have any
artistry
customers. Yeah.
that you can't find a niche to actually find, value in.
Compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think
Yeah.
it's a fine balance, and a lot of the other people out there that are artists, that's something that they probably have to struggle with.
Yeah.
But
Well, and I'm lucky, like with certain arts, I feel like you really can't make that compromise. Like, I don't know if you're a true artist, I don't consider myself an artist, but I'm lucky that I have so many like variations of what I can do. I can make my macs, I can make my cookies, I can do my cake. So I'm not just like stuck on this one thing all the time. And so luckily, some people might just want macs, and that's fine. They can buy my macs, and this person likes cakes and they like how I make the cakes, so they buy my cakes. But
so you have a little bit of breakup.
A little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
And when it comes to
because it'll feed your spirit a little bit. But tell me a little about when you did classes for a while, or you've done some classes a little bit.
Cookie classes. Yep.
Now, how does that work as an introvert?
I don't sleep for about a week before. I kind of
nervous?
just have a knot in my stomach for like 2 weeks leading up to it because I'm so nervous. And then it happens, and I'm like, God, that was so easy, and everybody's so nice, and why do I get nervous? But yeah, I host these cookie classes. In the beginning, they were just like super large because we didn't know how well they were going to do. And then just everybody signed it. We like packed the house. And so we did these huge classes, and they would just get, their cookies and their icing and a few little directions. And then I would just kind of walk around and if they have any questions. But it was more like ladies' night, have some wine, chat with your friends. And it was very laid back. And then 2020 happened. So we didn't have any that year. And then last year, I just kind of struggled getting back into it because I got very comfortable with never having to be around that many people.
Yeah.
And so, but thankfully I did some for the holidays, and they were really great. And then I tried to do some workshops too, some cookie workshops. So it's smaller. It's like 8 to 10 people. And then we're learning like a little more intricate designs, and, it's actually me teaching them and showing them and demonstrating. And I have a lot of fun with those because it's people that really want to like learn how to decorate. They might even have their own business. I've had some people that have their own cookie business, and they want to come, learn and watch me decorate.
I love that because
it's so cool.
But here you are, you just said earlier that you hate competition.
I know.
That scares the heck out of you.
I know. And then I see that, and I'm like, well, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I like them.
Yeah. Because I there's another thing I'm really passionate about. I'm like telling my friends all the time, like, sell the shovels. You guys already figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
Quit selling the product, sell the shovels. Show people how to do it.
Yep.
I think people are more willing to pay for that kind of information that they can't get. And I think people respect information that they pay for.
Yeah.
I think if you don't pay for it and it's just for free out there,
Don't respect it.
you typically don't respect it. You don't give it the time that it deserves or that it needs.
Yeah.
If you actually are truly interested in it.
Right.
But I think the best way to confront fear is literally, like, you are literally teaching your competition potentially. Right?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's crazy.
Yeah. The first workshop I did, the gal came up to me at the end, and she was like, I hope I am starting my own little business, and I hope that's okay that I'm here and I did this. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I can't make cookies for the whole town. I can't make cakes for the whole town. I'm not that naive, but yeah, it's just cool that people, want to learn from me.
See, and I think that is where you're going to go and you're going to thrive. Like, okay, I didn't bring you on the podcast to do this, but now I'm going to get into brainstorming mode for you.
Oh yeah.
And I think that it would be so cool to see you do, I don't know if you ever thought about courses, like selling courses or selling live stream mentoring, or like if there's a girl that's in wherever, Alaska, but she loves your designs, why not let her pay so much a month to be a part of your baking community, and all of you girls can share, I mean, not girls, guys, whatever, anybody, but you guys all share what you're making, what you're working on, different techniques that would work, because that's one thing that I'm doing this podcast for. As another thing is bringing the power of the internet to these people that are in the service industry or artisans or whatever, because there is so much money left on the table in just education. And if you don't want kids to go to school and have a coddled experience, then build something to teach them instead. And I think that like that right there is what you've got to, like, people have got to realize is like, if you don't want them to go and be this, then figure out how to plumb, like, and sell a course on it, like do plumbing or do electrical or do mechanicking. And there's already tons of, YouTube videos, but I think people really want to see they're just so hungry for authenticity. And if they can see you and yet you did it and that you've lived on it and you've made a business out of it, they want to pay for you. And people don't realize that. They don't realize how much it means to be unique and how much it means for your personality to work. Because sad to say, if you're a human being and you can find, 100 people in your community, there's probably at least 1,000 human beings very similar to you, maybe just a couple years beyond or behind, or a couple years maybe ahead, but they never actually chased their passion. And they will gladly pay for the version of them that has done it. Right. I know it sounds weird. It's like a different multiple universe thing maybe, but are you tracking me?
That. Yeah.
And I think that your personality caters to that even as an introvert. Yeah. And I think people are going to love this podcast and be like, oh my God, bring Sammy back on. So maybe we'll have to bring you on another time. But I think that is where you could go and you could see way more, monetary compensation, I guess, for your time.
I see so many of like the big cookiers that I follow and like idolize.
Are they called cookiers?
I call them cookiers. Okay. I don't know. That's a thing. Right. And they've been doing that, especially since COVID. Everything's online. So they started doing all these video tutorials and you can buy this course. And obviously it's great. You do a one-time thing, you make a little video and then, you're making money, for who knows how long every time someone buys it. And you only did one time. You only did it one time. So it's an awesome thing monetary wise. I think I would maybe wait until I have a bigger following. Not that I want one, but
don't wait.
I know, but I just don't think, I can't imagine that many people would look at a little Instagram like mine and think, okay, I'm going to spend this money on, I don't know. I just feel like people go, okay, she has 100,000 followers. I'm going to buy her tutorial.
Yeah. It's not like it's going to be an overnight thing. And typically, sadly, on like YouTube and clickbait, I just live on YouTube. I live in all these different watching financial advisors on YouTube and all of these like get rich quick kids. Guys are so into YouTube. Yeah, guys they are. They're like, there's like 80% watch.
It's like your Netflix.
It's yes, because it teaches you how to do stuff and you watch other people actually do things. It's not as curated as Netflix where it's like, this is fake. This is just
you're
made
just
up.
living vicariously through other people.
Yeah, and on here, like a lot of people are showing you how to actually do things, or they're being way more transparent than you would ever get on a produced show. Yeah. And I think that is why a lot of, well, first off, to get really deep, guys are looking for leadership. I think seriously in today's world, guys are looking for what is it like to be an actual man in this world, and what's it take to be like, who are we supposed to be? And I think that going on here, because we can see that that's fake, I think going on here is a way to show that. And I think that's where a lot of guys are searching for answers. But completely aside from that, you do have to be good at clickbait. You have to dedicate yourself to producing that kind of content.
And you want it to be done well.
You have to do it well.
And put a lot of time into it.
You're going to say that because you're a perfectionist. Okay. But I think that you will find that literally
you're just making a video.
Your little 30-second videos of you filling cookies can be stitched together into a full course. Right. And like, what you don't realize is that you could take all of the content you have, Sam, and you can go find somebody on Fiverr and pay them $30 and
What's that?
Yeah, see? There's like Fiverr, Upwork. There's all these different things where you can find freelancers. And they're people from Pakistan, wherever. Okay. They're people from Philippines, whatever. So all over the place. But they will gladly, you send them all of your content, they will gladly put it all together and give you 2 or 3 different revisions and can make you a full video for your TikTok. And again, automate your weaknesses. Don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. Yeah. And just get it to a point where you can show what you're capable of. And then on the back end, you're going to start building followers and everything. And people will naturally go, hey, do you have like a 15-minute course on how you do those macaroons? Or, is there any way that I can get more information on this? Yeah. And it's just going to kind of naturally happen that way. You got to corral it a little bit. You got to put a little money into it. You got to take some time and do it. I mean, this podcast isn't going to ever really, it's not going to make money probably for at least the first year,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that if you truly like baking and everything, it's a way that you can build your retirement by building a bank of content, because you can get monetized, you can get paid for that content, and you won't have to make cookies for the rest of your life to be able to make it happen.
Right.
You can literally show one video or take time to make one 15-minute course, and
Make
people
money
will
on
buy
it.
that course for years as long as you maintain your following.
Yep.
And that's the beauty of it, is because I have so many friends in service industries that they're only ever going to make money if they go out and work on a rig, or they go out and cut someone's grass or whatever. And it's like, if you actually had a bank of content, people looked at their content like that, literally a bank, an investment that will pay out over time, whether they're there or not. There's some money there.
Yep.
There's a lot of opportunity there.
Yep.
And everyone's like, well, there's 1,000 people out there that do it. It's like, no, there's probably only 10 that do it similar to yours, but there's only one of you that has a personality.
Yeah.
And might as well be the first one.
Yeah.
If you like doing it enough.
Right.
So that's kind of the give and take, but I don't know. I hate watching people that have years of experience and have actually proven product
Mm-hmm.
lose that proven product when they quit making it.
Yeah.
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 I just hate to see all of that experience when that could have been, sadly, it could have been, I mean, it sounds sad to sell, but it's not. But it could have been sold to somebody else. And these colleges are selling information that's not proven.
Yeah.
For hundreds of thousands of dollars. People are taking out loans for years and
Right.
years and years.
Right.
I mean, if someone spent $10,000 on YouTube courses, do you know the kind of information you can get? There's
Yeah.
Forex trading. There's how to start a hedge fund for 200 hours worth. There's
Oh my
there's
God.
all kinds of stuff that you can buy easily, like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a course. Now, some are junk,
Yeah.
but there's so many courses.
Yeah.
All right. So that's my little rant on what you're going to do for the rest of your life.
All right. Cool.
But
You're in charge.
yeah, no, I'm kidding.
Thank you.
No, please don't do
Well,
that.
I think another
What do you
hard
think
part-
about that, though? Yeah.
I'm not a salesperson at all. I'm
You hire
very
me.
much. I know, but yeah, exactly. I believe in like being humble and like, you know, your work speaks for itself, and so it's hard for me to like post things where it's like, hey, go buy this or go look at this, and like push things. I
Yeah.
don't like to push things because
Yeah.
I just feel weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much like, I want people to come to me. If they like my stuff, they'll come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like with the courses, you know, you need to push it, or you need to.
I don't, not in your case. I think you're going
Okay.
to find out in a heartbeat. It's going to be like, oh my gosh, this is Samantha Walter that's doing this. Like, I can't believe like she's actually going to sell me a $15. Yes, I'll buy this. I'll buy it just because I like her.
Yeah.
You know, I think that will naturally come. It's no different than when you first got started. You're like, who's going to buy these cookies?
Yeah.
Like, I can't make a post about this because
Right.
I mean, and I can't make a
Embarrassing.
website unless it looks good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing, and I wouldn't necessarily push it. You don't want to be scammy. I mean, from the course culture that I've followed and all of the people that do it, the best way to do it is to first put out a lot of free content. I think it's called left, right or something like that, or right, hook or something. It's a content marketing strategy, but you give value, and then you ask. You ask for like, hey guys, look, I've done a lot to be able to provide, you know, so much information for you guys and give this kind of stuff. If you could please just, you know, step back and buy my coffee table book.
Yeah.
And even though it means like not much,
Yeah.
it's a product that you can sell that doesn't take any more time of your day because it's just copy on copy.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the courses, or same thing with whatever. Like, hey guys, the way I can keep this going and I can actually make money doing what I love and showing you guys how to do it too. If you could just, you know, throw a couple bucks in the kitty for my next course that comes out, you know, and that's it. And people should be so much less ashamed, much less ashamed for that.
Yeah.
Because you've truly worked hard for it and you've honestly earned it. And at some point, you're without moving, it's going to be very hard for you to scale. It's a hard fact. Like, it's going to be very hard for you to scale unless you let go of some of your control. But if you don't really want to let go of some of your control, I think that's the best option, is doing these courses or some kind of a training situation, sell the shovels.
Right.
You know, unless you were to like go factory and like, this is Sammy Crocker's macaroons.
Yeah.
Betty Crocker, you know, I don't know, or like get into a
Yeah.
big store like Walmart or something. And
That's one thing that I don't think has ever really been on my mind. Everybody's like, when you're opening your place, or, what are you going to do to get bigger? Or what do you add this to your menu and you'll get more customers. And I've always just been like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Why can't I just be right here for the rest of this career? Yeah. As long as it lasts. I don't have like that need to expand into all this. So I think and it's probably my control, need for control. But it's also, I don't know. I don't need money. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't need like a franchise. I don't need anything big. I just need to pay my bills and save some money and
just have enough
make it
to
easy.
retire and pay for health insurance.
Yeah. All right. I guess start thinking about some stuff. Did just turn 26.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're all kicked off at 26.
I'm a little stressed.
Oh my gosh. That's actually a good point. Yeah. Go look up like Baker's United health insurance.
Self-employment sucks.
Well, maybe that's not the way you go. I mean, I'm not.
No, I totally see. I think at some point.
Yeah.
I would love to.
But you can also just get to the point too where you charge $15,000-$20,000 for a cake.
All right. There we go.
They just fly
once
you
a
in.
year.
They just fly
one
you
order
in.
a year. Yeah, there we go.
Not one order a year. Sammy, please tell me you're making more than $60,000 a year.
60?
Yeah, come on. You got to get more
oh
than 60.
my God.
Sam, we're going to get you out there.
I do not have time
Everybody,
for that.
Please, podcast, everyone on this podcast, please hit up Sam and share her stuff everywhere.
No.
Share it
I
everywhere.
can't handle anymore.
Yeah.
I'm at a cap, which I'm good with.
What about selling recipes? What do we got to do, girl?
Yeah,
What do we got to do?
Maybe one day. I have a couple that are like my own,
Mm-hmm.
which I think some people would like, but I just feel weird. I don't feel big enough. I don't know.
I have to tell you that I've been to a lot of, I'm not going to say anybody's names, but I've been to a lot of weddings.
Yeah.
And I've been and had a lot of wedding cake.
Yeah.
And your wedding cake legitimately was one of the best wedding cakes for my wedding.
Thank God.
Was one of the best weddings I've ever had. And I will never forget she gave me a great deal.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. That's why I have to have you on the podcast. But thank you. Yeah. The taste, a lot of that stuff is just, it looks good.
Yeah.
But and then you taste what is that fake frosting crap? That's
fondant. Don't use it.
I'm not a fan.
Hate it.
And I know there's a lot
Shouldn't
of
exist.
girls that go to these like cooking class or baking classes and they learn how to write your name with fondant.
Mm-hmm.
But my goodness, that disgusting.
Never taste good. Nobody likes to taste. It does. Like you can definitely do some cool techniques with it and stuff. It's a whole nother skill though. Like I when I started, I would try it. I was like, cake people use fondant. Yeah. And it is tough. Mm-hmm. But it's also like a very kind of, for a lot of designs, it's an old fashioned type look. Mm-hmm. That's just not my style. So it's just, I never really need to use it. But yeah, I hate that stuff.
Let's explain your I would call your style chic. So it's like marble. Chic. Yeah, is that right?
I like that.
Yeah. It's like a marble look. It's very kind of has edges on it. Like the wedding cakes that you do are like is it marbling? Like a marbling kind of.
Are you talking maybe like semi-naked?
Yeah.
Like the unfinished look?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's my style. That's like probably my least favorite design. Not like looks. I think it looks awesome, especially for Montana weddings. It's kind of like a rustic. Yeah, but it's not necessarily challenging to my craft. So it's just not my favorite. I know, and it looks great. It's just not like super fun for me. Yeah, especially when everybody does it. Yeah. So I don't know. I think my style is just like modern. I would say modern and clean. Yeah.
Is there any big inspirations you have for the decorations that you do? Like people that you kind of pull from?
I follow so many accounts on Instagram by now. It's just it's just my feed. I scroll and find cakes that I love or cookies that I love and kind of base it off that. Or especially for like cookies, you can use so many things like interior design or like patterns and that kind of stuff is great inspiration. But yeah, I don't think I have really any main ones. Many.
What about for these weddings when the people that are buying these designs and everything? Yeah. What's the typical age range for these people?
Age?
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. Like,
very young now.
20 to 30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like
because you
even younger than me now.
Yeah.
When I started, they were my age, and now they're younger than me. I don't like that. But yeah. Yeah. They're pretty young.
So it's
which is good.
It's modern.
Yeah. That's my people. So they kind of like my style and fits well.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you done much on Pinterest or anything? like shared stuff to Pinterest?
No, I think in the beginning I would like throw some of my pictures up there because I always thought it'd be so cool to like come across one of your own pictures on Pinterest one day. But I think, I don't know, I gave up on it a long time.
I used to have a Pinterest addiction.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I still go on there for inspo and stuff.
Yeah.
But now you can like search hashtags too on Instagram.
Oh.
So you just, search like modern wedding cake or something and you get all these ideas and inspirations.
I'm kind of curious right now. I want to look at how many Sweets by Sam hashtags do you have? Do you have a lot? Is there quite a few out there? Like, can you even look up like how many there are?
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to try it right now.
Well, I hashtag all my posts with Sweets by Sam, so that wouldn't be fair.
Oh, okay.
You just see all my posts.
But still, I'm wondering, 1,000+ posts.
But think about all the other Sweets by Sams out there.
Do you think there's more? Did you trademark that name? Or did you do anything with that name?
I mean, I got like a thing when I first started.
Like a
I probably
DBA.
went on like LegalZoom and
Okay.
yeah, DBA.
You got a DBA, but did you get a trademark or anything? Or like a copyright
No idea.
name? No.
Probably not.
Okay.
And are you supposed to pay for that like every year? 'Cause I only pay for
Well, I mean, there's like a registration fee for your LLC.
I do that.
So you actually have an LLC. That's good.
Yeah.
That's probably a good idea. So if somebody like eats something and tries to sue you, that's
Yeah,
probably
we
a
don't
good
like
idea.
to think about that.
Yeah, we don't think about that. Sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
That's not a thing.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So yeah, oh man, I'm going to have to show some of this stuff because I'm looking at your Instagram again. I'm getting hungry. But
Go eat an Oreo.
yeah. So when she got here, I'm like, hey, would you like an Oreo? Didn't even think about who I'm talking
Oreos
to.
are my
I
jam.
feel so bad.
No, you have to know when people are in that profession, they don't actually eat. Okay, no, I can't say that for like everybody, but I hate cake.
Really?
I don't eat my stuff anymore because it's all around me all the time. I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to look at it when it's pretty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to eat it ever.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I felt.
No, I love
I
Oreos.
felt like I was like, what am I doing?
No.
But it's your panic. It's like, oh my gosh, the guest is here.
Yep. Have an Oreo.
Banana Oreo. Banana Oreo. Oreo.
Just what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. I don't know. Kyle had a banana.
Well, I expect you to have Sweets by Sam macarons on your counter,
I
Drew.
should've
Come
ordered some and
on.
been like, hey,
Good.
come on over. Oh man, that's cool. Do you have anything that you want to like really bring up or anything? Oh, when you're dating somebody right now, what's he think about all this?
He loves it. He's
Yeah?
very supportive. Yeah.
Good.
He doesn't like that I work all the time
Yeah.
or that I
don't
work
like
at home a lot.
that much either.
Yeah. But no, he's really awesome.
Mhm.
Him and his little brother actually started their own like shoe reselling business like a year and a half ago.
Oh,
So they've been doing that. So we're kind of on like,
there's some
you
money
know.
in that too.
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, he's kind of like a business owner. And so,
That's neat.
yeah, we can kind of.
And I think it's honestly
each other on.
really good to have my poor wife. I'm so sorry. She wanted security and an hourly job, and I've completely wrecked that.
I know.
But I think it's
okay,
really
Drew.
cool to be able to have somebody else that also is kind of going through that struggle and understand a little bit.
Yeah.
Because there is so much more. You have to have discipline for your time. You have
Don't
to
have
have
that.
some kind of mental health resilience so you can deal with the people that hate you.
Yep. Or just crash and burn a lot.
Or just crash and burn a lot. What do you do when you crash and burn? Do you just veg out?
Just kind of.
Shut your phone off?
No, I just kind of keep
Stare at the
working.
wall? Oh, you do?
I
You're a
almost like.
miracle.
It's weird. I don't take breaks when I'm burnt out.
Mm,
Like I take my breaks at really random time where I like take a week off or something or go visit my sister. But
yeah.
it's almost like when I'm crashing and burning, I just have to keep working
Yeah.
until I don't feel. I don't know. It's almost like I burn out the burnout.
I don't understand you. You're a machine to me.
I used to be. I'm
You're
not
a
anymore. I
machine to
sleep
me.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Can't get out of bed.
That's
No,
good.
it's weird.
Well, yeah, but I think maybe you're in a recovery period.
Yeah. That's what I tell myself. My body's just messed up. It'll figure itself out one day.
Yeah.
Too many years of torture.
Do you feel like you're a little bit more equipped to deal with ups and downs now that you're 26? Because I turned 26 in a week, and I feel like now more than anything, I'm like, okay, I actually do feel a little more level-headed.
You do?
Yeah.
No. I would love to, but no.
Yeah, you still kind of feel,
Just feel like a 12-year-old most of the time.
yeah, kind of on
I'm
a
not
roller
ready for
coaster
any of
still.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some you hit a point where you're like, okay, got a routine kind of going.
Mhm.
I can do this forever, and then you just have a weird day or something,
Yeah.
and my schedule gets knocked off, and then I'm in a bad place, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So you find security in scheduling.
Yeah, I
and
need
having
to, I feel like I need to stay busy.
order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brain like runs.
Yeah.
Like that I think that's why I have trouble sleeping is like my brain runs. And so I always need to be like stimulate. Like I always need the TV on. I always need music on or a podcast or a book. It's weird. Like I can't let my brain run.
Yeah.
So if I'm like busy, if I'm working all the time, that's can keep my brain busy and watching Netflix all the time or something.
Yeah.
Just like background noise. I hate quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's why you're on the podcast. This is all we do is create background noise.
Yeah, exactly. Just listen to my own episode on repeat.
Should. It's weird, but it is actually kind of, I mean, I've truly found that it's kind of therapeutic to just hear your voice and just go, oh, so that's what my thoughts sound like when I orate them.
Do you like re-listen to yours?
Oh, I have to.
Yeah.
I'm editing and stuff.
And then after that, do you ever
send
go
a
back?
lot of my stuff to Kyle now. I don't listen to it that much.
Yeah, we're fancy.
I get scared a little bit. Sometimes listening to my stuff because I'm like,
just like what you say.
I don't remember it. I'll say it in the moment and I just feel it.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of rolling with it and having a good time. And then I'll go back and listen to it and like,
not too far.
Who's gonna take that and cut it up and make it look real bad?
Yeah.
But so far I haven't really had that. And even if I do, I'm just gonna have to admit like, I'm in the business. So what? I mean, if I get canceled now, at the very least, it's like, well, I tried.
Yeah.
It's
fine.
It's like I'm getting paid for this. It's like, well, that's one more thing I don't have to do now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it. But it's kind of a little bit different thing though, because also every day I go and sit down for this, I have to be, and I'll be honest, like today I was a little bit like, we had a lot of stuff going on this last couple of weeks with real estate and just kind of getting back and swinging things after I had COVID and trying to get stuff going again. And today, like I walked in, I was like, Kyle, I'm like, whoa, I'm just like, I have to sit down and do an interview now. And the thing that I struggle with, because I think I've found I've become more introverted over the years, but I feel bad if I'm not in a upbeat, manically high Drew, like just like
really?
like how you doing, Sam? Good to see you. Blah blah blah. Nah. And because I feel like I'm not.
Just like what you expect for yourself.
Well, it might seem like I'm not as interested in the person, and I never want it to be to a point where it's like, even though I'm extremely interested in you.
Yeah.
Not in like a bad way, but not in a weird way.
Don't sell your wife,
honey. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I never want anybody to feel like they're not interesting.
Yeah.
And
it's people pleaser.
Yeah. It crushes me if I'm not able to be interested in somebody. And really, it's just like, no, I'm just not. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to get in the groove. Just trying to get in the groove here. And sometimes you just have to sit down and write, and it might be garbage, but you're practicing. So every one of these podcasts kind of a practice. But anything cool. you want to bring up or talk about, or I mean, there's so much we haven't even covered. I wanted to kind of cover your childhood a little bit more and all that stuff.
You do you. I have nothing.
Yeah, nope. I have nothing.
You gotta give me prompts.
Yeah.
I don't talk if I don't have to.
Do you think it warped your head a little bit, Gifted Ed? Do you think like having that in your that's something I've been dealing with lately.
I think it did because it made me
special.
think I was smart and special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I grew up and I was like, this algebra class is hard.
Yeah.
Well, I've never struggled before in this. I'm going to drop out. I did. I was like, what would Mrs.
in 8th grade?
What would Mrs. Goff think of me right now?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it probably made us feel a little too special.
Yeah, I feel like every kid should feel special, but then again, at some point, a kid's just getting enabled. And then that kid feels like they should be a certain thing. And
and isn't it kind of weird, the whole concept of it? Like literally these kids went to a different classroom.
Yeah.
Where they were tested for and told that they were smarter than the rest of these kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, I don't know, we just did like projects.
Yeah, we just did projects. We kind of read some higher level reading stuff. And I just find it very interesting. I don't know. I find that a very interesting concept.
Is it still like a thing? Nowadays?
I think that a lot of the funding is gone. I think
I would think so.
It kind of is a thing, but also now it's a little bit not. I don't think it's very politically correct now to have a separate classroom for the smarter kids.
Nope.
If they're smarter, I don't even know how they really measure that, but
you'd have some pissy parents.
I think it's really more obsessive compulsive in a way. Like we kind of like we're able to stick to a subject a little bit longer, or like we pick something and go, yep, Like I'm just gonna go nuts on this thing
Yeah.
and just, really, really go into it. And I think that was the kids that were maybe a little bit more prone to get selected for it. But I don't know. It's just something I've always find interesting, and I just kind of want to get other people's viewpoints on it as I bring more kids back from my childhood, because I just think it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of my thought on that. The last podcast we did was this is a total gear change here, but a buddy of mine, Luke Anderson, did you listen to that podcast yet?
Not yet.
Okay, it got posted, and he just got done with cancer, and I know that kind of touched your life a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're a little bit fuzzy on it. That's what you said.
Yeah, I was
But your
young.
mom had cancer.
Yep. She had breast cancer.
What did that do for your psyche? I mean, was it ever like, man, there's a point that maybe mom won't be here? Like, I'm going to run out of time.
It's weird. I think I was young enough where I don't think I thought like that. It's very fuzzy. But it's probably like 12 years ago now, and she got breast cancer. Ended up getting a double mastectomy, and then, did chemo and I think radiation.
Wow.
And she's just, she's a do it on her own strong woman, and I think she kept a lot from us, so we really didn't know.
Very resilient.
It's weird, like when I think back, but I don't think I ever thought about her dying, and I never thought about it as being serious, because I think it was because of her attitude.
Good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Chris. I
love
know
you,
her.
Mama.
Yeah, I know her personally, and she's an amazing woman,
Yep.
and always has a smile on her face, much like
She
Sam.
loves you.
Yeah.
Yep, she does.
She's great. Yeah, it's fantastic, the support that I've maybe hung out with your mom, though, realistically, come on, maybe 6 or 7 times, maybe in my life for 10 minutes at a time. I don't even know where she even thought that I should be a person to be loved.
She just loved that you were like this 40-year-old man in a 12-year-old's body. Yeah. Because she was like, everybody look up to Drew. Everybody be like Drew. Everybody do this.
Ugh.
Yeah, she just loved you.
And that was definitely, my parents didn't like that.
Because you were the parent of the household.
Yeah, my mom was like, all the time, she's like, you're not old enough to have an opinion. And I'd be like, oh yeah.
No.
But yeah, I think that was a complex that they sadly had to deal with. But I love that. And that was really sweet that she did that. Kylie's mom also gave me like a super nice book.
Aw.
It was a Dr. Seuss book, Wherever You Go, or something like that. I still have it.
Cute.
But anyways, yeah, that was a different time way back then.
I know.
I am now actually the 40-year-old man, losing all my hair.
Yep.
Sitting
You're
here.
50 now.
Sitting here just talking into a mic. Let's bring back radio, baby.
Reminiscing on the good old days.
Yeah. Sam, it's been great having you on.
Thanks, Drew.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for having me on
just taking me seriously enough to sit down and
of course.
BS a little
I
bit.
took you serious when we were 12.
Yeah. You shouldn't have. I was a jerk.
No.
I know I was a jerk. You have any embarrassing stories about me? You want to tell? Get it out there. Put a little humility back in my spirit.
No, remember, my memory's terrible. I know I'll think of them right when I leave here.
Yeah, you can text them to me.
Yeah.
And then I'll put them on the website.
All right. There we go.
Forever.
I like that.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Just it's amazing to see what you've done. It's amazing to see that you've taken something that some people would consider really simple, and you've turned it into this fabulous business. You've turned it into this fabulous art, and you've really taken the time to perfect it, and you've done it even though the rewards aren't necessarily great.
Yeah.
Financially, like it's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of mental abuse, and I think that that's just such a testament to, like, it's not as hard as people think to find security financially, and like a zest for life in the simple things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's so cool, because in today's world, everyone's being told to chase some kind of huge financial glory, or some kind of really big, be president,
or something
go be a speaker, or
people,
okay.
My viewpoint is everybody wants everything to be easy, especially once you own a business and you get these customers who kind of think
preach it,
they own the world, know, and they're like, why aren't you doing exactly what I'm telling you to do?
Yeah.
And so that kind of ruins it sometimes, but we're just living in this world that's fast, and everybody wants everything easy and
immediately.
They're lazy, and you have to work hard for a business, and you're not going to get paid what you want. You're not going to be able to do everything you want in the beginning, and it takes a long time. And I'm still still working to get where I want to be, but
Preach it. When
yeah.
you're here at 10 years, they consider you successful, but I consider you
I thought it was
successful.
5.
I think it's
Come
10.
on.
I hate to tell you
Yeah,
that.
I think I won't believe it until it's 10.
That's the only thing I listen to in business class. Is like, well, you're not a real thing until make 10 years.
That makes sense.
No, I just thank you so much for coming on. It's fantastic. Everybody go check out Sweets by Sam. Go tell her to go make more reels, and then everyone beg her for a course, and she'll gladly sell it to you for probably $150.
Yeah.
For about
easy.
probably 10 hours of content. That
Easy.
seems fair.
I like it.
And she's going to eventually have a community that you can buy into, something like that, $15 a month.
Contact Drew. Keep me out of it.
I just want to get some money in your pocket, girl. Let's go. Let's go. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for listening to this podcast. I don't know which episode this is, but it's a great one because we had Sammy Walter on. Mm-hmm. And Kyle McLean is our producer. Once again, he's the one that's killing it. He's making sure that everyone's in focus and my laughing doesn't get too loud. And we're just very grateful for everybody we have working on this team. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.